What do you think is the best thing that you learned in film school that maybe would be harder to learn outside of it?
Oh, that's a really good question. I really don't think people need film school. And I went through it, and I think it was helpful in theory. I have great theory knowledge. Is that the most applicable to real life situations? Probably not. The biggest benefit to film school is everyone's starting in the same position as you, and you are all building your career at the same time. And therefore, you have this great network of people immediately out of film school. You have jobs from your peers, or you have connections to your professors. It's simply like just honestly the network. Like, yes, I learned some things, but they're some of the most of the most successful people in film didn't go to film school because you don't really need it. But yeah, I think the network was the biggest benefit. That's not really learning, but yeah.
I think that's an important thing to hear because, like you said, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to go to film school or even perhaps apply and don't get in. So to be able to hear that you can build a career without needing the institutional education behind it, I think is just so important for people who maybe feel like there's a blocker there. Like, well, I can't start in film. I don't have any theory. I don't have any education. I think that's what makes maybe YouTube and all these things so cool, is because you can start and learn on your own. There's not only tutorials, but then you learn by doing, and then you can put it somewhere. It's not just this thing that you've created and it floats off into the nether. You can actually put it out there yourself.
I think the beauty of social media and technology now is it's not so gatekept. Like, I think before, film was definitely, there's a lot of privilege before. If you were able to pursue film, you would need probably a family that could afford you to not make a ton of money at first and whatever it may be. But there's a lot of privilege in just being able to film things on your phone and post it and get traction that way, get your name out that way, and practice that way just with your phone, which is lovely. Like, yeah, camera equipment's really expensive, and that was another issue from before, was who could afford a cinema camera or like a motion camera, but now with phones, that's another wonderful thing.
And then 28 weeks later is being filmed on an iPhone, I've heard, like the whole thing. So there's so much opportunity out there. I think if people just understand that, like, yes, you can. Don't let these things that were barriers before continue to block you. And then really all that's left is you getting over it in your own mind.